bouzouki or bouzouki guitar.
Oh, she has a bouzouki. Yeah, I wasn't sure.
That's it. That's it.
That's the concept.
That's me, Joan. I think we're nearly there.
All right. Here we go. Light on stage with me.
Oh.
Triple check that you're all comfortable. I know it's a warm night, so we can even lift those windows up a little higher if we want to have some cross ventilation. How many people are feeling like they'd like more air? Okay, is this window open? It's open. Okay, so we'll leave. Yeah, let's open the front doors. Okay, well, hopefully there'll be like a puff of air, but we can also bring a fan, or we can open this back window. Would you like to?
Sure.
Okay.
It's okay. Next is fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's see. How many people have never been here before? All right. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us and coming out to a new home and jamming yourself in someone's living room. We've been presenting shows here for just about 15 years, and we're getting close to 600 shows, so we're really excited about it. And then welcome back everyone who's been here before. Actually, some of you were just here a couple nights ago, I have to say. We've had 3 shows this week, so that's actually a lot. And then we're going to take a break for the rest of this month. How many people have seen John Doyle live before? Yay! Well, I have to say, I haven't seen him in many, many years. Was anyone else at the Mission Theater about, I don't know, over 10 years ago, Liz Carroll? That was an awesome show, I think with Liz Carroll, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Well, I am really thrilled to have John Doyle here for the first time, and I want to welcome also the folks who are tuning in on the live stream. Thank you for tuning in.
Hello.
And without further ado, let's get going with John Doyle. Welcome.
Staring at your window, let me
The soldier cried, cold, haily, windy night, oh let me in. The soldier cried, I'll not come back again, no. Oh, my father, he watches down the street. My mother, the chamber keys to keep. Oh, the doors and the windows, they do creak, and I'll dare not let you in, oh, let me in. The soldier cried, cold, haily, windy night, oh, let me in. The soldier cried, I'll not come back again, no. Cheek and chin, she's drawn in between the sheets again, and she's open and she's let him in, oh, and then she is blessed. The rainy night, cold, haily, windy night, oh, then she is blessed. The rainy night, she opened and she let him in, oh, oh, soldier, soldier, stay with me, oh, soldier, soldier, won't you marry me? No, 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 that ne'er can be, so fare thee well forever. And then she is cursed. The rainy night, cold, haily, windy night, oh, then she is cursed. The rainy night, she opened and she let him in, oh. He's put his hat all on his head, for she had lost her maidenhead, and her mammy even heard the jingle. And then she is wet for the rainy night, cold, haily, windy night, oh, then she is wet for the rainy night. She opened and she let him in, oh, oh, my hat is frozen to my head, my feet are like a lump of lead, my shoes they have worn to my feet, with this staring at your window. Let me in. The soldier cried, cold, haily, windy night, oh, let me in. The soldier cried, I'll not come back again, no. I know my love by his way of walking, and I know my love by his way of talking, and I know my love in his jacket blue. And if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a trouble mine sure to know no less. And still she cried, funny boys of you, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? I know my love is a handsome rover, and I know my love sails the wide world over, in Spain or France. Well, I'm sure he'll tarry, or an English girl, well, he's sure to marry. And still she cried, I love him the best, and a trouble mine sure to know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys of you, if my love leaves me, what will I do? supine is kind, but the want of money sure leaves me behind. And still she cried, I love him the best, and a trouble mine sure to know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys are few, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? I know my love by his way of walking, and I know my love by his way of talking, and I know my love in his jacket blue. And if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a trouble mine sure to know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys of you, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? And still she cried, I love him the best, and a trouble mine sure to know no rest. And still she cried, funny boys of you, and if my love leaves me, what will I do? Hello everybody, official hello. It's great to be here. What a great spot. This is amazing. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Always a pleasure to be here in Portland. It's fantastic. And I'm always delighted to come here and to the West Coast. So thank you all for being here. This is such a little happy time. So those, the first couple of tunes, our first couple of songs, the first one was called Cold, Haily, Windy Night. And I got it from the great playing of Martin Carty, and one of my heroes. And when I was like 14 or 15 or 16, maybe 14, maybe, my oldest brother, who was a very eclectic collector of music at that time. In fact, I credit him with kind of opening my eyes to so much music. And he brought an album of Martin Carty's, one album, I can't remember, it's a collection or something. And I put it on, and it was, one of the tracks that I heard first was Willie's Lady. And it forever changed my life, because I wanted to play like that. I just kind of, this is what I want to do, you know. And and then I heard Cold, Haily, Windy Night, one of the, a version that he did. And so I've learned that song many, many years ago. So it's a love 'em and leave 'em song. A soldier's love 'em and leave 'em song. And there's a few different versions of that, but I do like that one the best. And then that last one is actually got from a great singer called Jimmy Crowley from County Cork. And he put it on an album in the 70s with his band called Stoker's Lodge. And the name of the album was Do You Want Your L Lobby Washed Down? And it was the name of a song. And he was one of the great collectors of songs in the Cork region. He would go and to all these old people's houses and record the songs that, you know, like record what they knew. Everyone had a song of some sort, you know, but some of them had a lot more than others. And so he would go to, you know, Beth Cronin's house and a few different other people, and he would collect the songs, and then he put them on this particular album, which was Do You Want Your Own Lobby Washed Down? And they were all Cork songs, and they're beautiful, all of them, and so that's one of them. So let's see. It's great being solo. I can do whatever I want. Well, since my baby left me, I got I got commissioned by the Sligo Arts Council to write a song based on a W.B. Yeats poem. So I picked a pretty obscure one of his. He's one of my favourite poet, I have to say, and kind of our national poet in a way. I picked an obscure one. The title is He Mourns for the Loss That Has Come Over Him and His Beloved and Longs for the End of the World. So I figured that'd be a great love song. And so I started writing it, and then I picked snippets from the poem itself, and then started looking at his life a little bit, and he's a very interesting man. just one snippet of his life was he was in love with a woman called Maud Gonne. All his adult life, it seemed, it was, you know, she was his muse, you know, and he asked her to marry him 3 times, and 3 times she refused. And then many years later, he actually asked for her daughter's hand in marriage. So she politely refused, thankfully. But there's a couple of things in the poem and in the song here that might need a slight bit of explanation. One is that Mac Og that's mentioned is another name for Angus Og. And Angus Og is the god of love and the god of war in the Irish pantheon of gods. And he resides in Brunaboynia, or if you've been to Newgrange, that's his abode. And so if you go into Newgrange, that's where all the people, the early Celtic people, thought that's where he lived, because like the early Celts that came in they were amazed by those sites themselves, because they were like 2,000 years prior to the Celts ever coming in, or longer. So they were all ancient before them, and so they were magical places. And then the last verse, or second last verse, is a snippet of Amergin's poem. And Amergin was one of the sons of Mill and one of the Miletians. And in the early Irish stories, the sons of Mill were basically from Andalusia in Spain, and they came up via the west coast of Ireland and were going to invade the country. And the Druids of Ireland created a mist all around Ireland to obscure it from view, because it was too beautiful to be seen by anybody else. And if you've ever been to Ireland, you know it's still there. And try as they might, the Miletians could not find the coast of Ireland. They went for 3 years, circumnavigated Ireland for 3 years, until finally they got a bit tired, and the king of the Miletians said, "Is there anyone can cut through this fog with their magic?" And up speaks Amergin the poet, and he says, "I can cut through this magic with my poem." Great analogy for poetry, really, to cut through the fog of illusion. And of course he recites his poem, and it's a beautiful poem, you should look it up. He says, "We are everything and we are nothing. We are the stag of the 7 tines. We are the unhewn domin. We are the head of the spear in battle. We are the wind on a raven's wing. Who knows God but I?" And and there's lots more to it, you know. It's an incantation. And so he recites the poem, and of course the clouds part, and they see Ireland for the first time, and they go and invade and kill everybody. So there you go. Thank you very much. The people that were there were meant to be called the Tuatha Danann, which were the magic folk. And so there's a big battle between the Miletians and the Tuatha Danann, and the Miletians finally won, and the Tuatha Danann went underground, and they became the fairy folk, and eventually the leprechauns became smaller and smaller and smaller as Christianity got bigger and bigger and bigger. The wood of thorns surrounds me. At night the lonesome call of owl, at dawn the cockerel crowing. Once more the summer sun it comes, its dappled light adorning. It's from the west she came to me, now to the west returning. But for days I held you in my arms, no beauty could surpass you. Your lips as red as blood on snow, and your raven's hair about you. And you said you'd love someone, and you said we'd love someone. And we said we love them. Da 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 da. times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. Oh, in the times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. I dreamed a dream the other night. Mac Oak came a-calling. He weaves a spell and he casts it well. Its light upon us forming. And I awake and I call you by your name. To no answer but the wind, crying out for all lost love, it seems, throughout the world resounding. Oh, when the times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. Oh, when the times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. I've been a salmon in the pool, a red deer running fleetly, the savage soul of man as battle rages all about me. And now a birth and now a death, a fire burning brightly. Well, I've been the wind on a raven's wing, as a storm it rages around me. Oh, when the times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. Oh, when the times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. I have walked on the path of stone, the wood of thorns surrounds me. At night the lonesome call of owl, and at dawn the cockerel crowing. And I've lost love, and I've lost again, and no scar could prove deeper. And every step away from you, well, my heart, it just turns colder. Oh, when the times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. Oh, when the times at hand keep my spirits strong. You keep me waiting for that promised land. Your light upon me lingers. Me of I used to be fascinated about how people remember lyrics, and there's a lot of lyrics that flow through your head, like with these long songs and different things, and usually what it is you're singing. You just sing it. You know it so enough that you just sing it. But I've been fortunate enough to play with a lot of different people, and I asked Tmi O'Brien, like, how do you remember lyrics? Because he can pop off lyrics just like that, different songs. And Tim says, well, if I just don't think about it and I just go into the song, then usually it works out okay. But if I have to do it again, if I have to sing it right again after that, I'll never remember the lyrics. Because there's something like cerebrally that goes on that's different, And then I played with Joan Baez for a few years, and I asked Joan how she remembered it, and she went, well, I have a peculiar way of doing it, and I said, I bet. I bet you do. And she says, I imagine when I lose a lyric, I imagine a white Pegasus horse that's up in the sky, and it's coming towards me, and I see that it has all the lyrics of all the songs that I've ever wrote in a book binder, in its mouth. And it goes to the top of my head, and it drops the folder into my head. I was like, okay. So when we were playing with her, if she'd ever lose a lyric, which was like not very often at all the band would go like this. Do a couple of tunes. The first tune is a slow tune called September Sun. I wrote in a place called Fanu, which is off the west coast of Denmark. It's a beautiful, windswept island, and there's a particular type of fiddle music that's there. It's quite beautiful. Kind of atypical, it's asymmetric. It has like an A part that might be like 1.5 times long and 3 times long. I've still yet to understand it properly, but I wrote a tune kind of just because I was trying to emulate it a little bit. So that's called September Sun. And then followed by the Coolani Reel. Coolani, County Sligo is where my father's side of the family comes from. And then into something else. Thank you. I heard I was getting paid by the note. Well, for my next number, I'll do the Flight of the Bumblebee. I'll do this song. This is a song called Richard Joyce. And Richard Joyce, in the late 1600s, decided to indenture himself to go to Barbados to work. Indenturing meant basically there was a piece of paper, or, a strong piece of paper, and in the middle of it was an indenture. And on one side, you kept one side, and the ship's captain kept another. And when you got to Barbados, the captain would sell you on to a landowner, and then you would be under his service for from 5 to 7 years. And after those 5 or 7 years, you would get a piece of land yourself or something. That's the way it worked. So he indentured himself to go to Barbados to work for the sugarcane. It was the start of sugarcane. It was a tough work. And he left from Galway, and about halfway there, always halfway there, Algerian pirates came and took prisoners of all of them on the ship and made slaves of them all. And they ended up in Algiers. And in that time, he learned to be a goldsmith. And it was he that first fashioned the cladder ring that you all know. He made it from Greek, Egyptian and Roman design, a heart and hand with a crown on top. And we know this because in 1702, there's the earliest cladder ring we have is in the National Museum, 1702, and on the inside it says RJ. And he was there for 14 years, and after 14 years he was freed, and he went back to Ireland. He got married, had 3 children, and lived happily ever after.
Tell us the real story.
It's the only one I have. So, thank you. Until his wife buried a hatchet in his head. Sorry. No. But it's a story. It's a true story, and I got it from a man called Martin O'Connor, a great accordion player, who told me the story, and he actually gave me the title. And he says, "Can you write that song?" So I did. So it's called Heart and Hand. Story I will tell. In poverty I left this land, in Galway I did dwell. 14 years in slavery, the Moors then held command. Lives were cheap, we were sold like sheep on Algiers' burning land. Well, I gave myself in servitude for 7 long years or more. Bidding goodbye to kith and kin, we sailed out from the shore. And as we took our last fond look on Ireland's glittering strand, to Barbados for the sugar cane, the captain would sell all hands. Sell all hands, captain would sell all hands. To Barbados for the sugar cane, the captain would sell all hands. For we hadn't been on the deep for 2 days, but barely 3. When on a brisk and blowy day, 3 distant sails at sea, they beat a course towards us, and we tacked our ship about. They gave chase, soon gained pace, rolled their cannon out. And when I saw that sickle flag, curling scimitar in each hand, the fear had stirred up a heavy blow, we had to fight or stand. Those fearsome Janissaries, off from their native land, had come to pillage and plunder and chain us in iron bands. Iron bands, chain us in iron bands, had come to pillage and plunder and chain us in iron bands. Well, broadside to broadside, soon we were engaged. They grapple hooked and boarded us as the battle raged. Though we were far outnumbered, and soon the flag came down. To the beats and blows of this pirate foe we surrendered every man. Well, Nerisi viewed his captives and he said to Barbary we were bound. Thrown into the hole, me boys, our ankles chained around. Fed into rough with tack and slop, we slept where we did stand. And how I cursed and rued the day we left old Ireland. Ireland, left old Ireland. Oh, how I cursed and rued the day we left old Ireland. 3 months we were at sea, till we docked the yells and jeers, brought up but blinded in the light in the port of old Algiers. First they sold the women to the harems they were bound. Most men went to the salt mines and a life in hell they found. Now I had apprenticed as a boy and fashioned rings of gold. The reese he told the auctioneer who had me bought and sold, to a goldsmith for the Sultan who needed a helping hand. Kind Providence had saved my life in this fearsome foreign land. For he took me in and fed me and tended to my wounds, and taught me all the craft he knew of gold and precious stones. And as the weeks rolled into months, months rolled into years, I became a master of my trade, a goldsmith in Algiers. In Algiers, a goldsmith in Algiers, I became a master of my trade, a goldsmith in Algiers. Now I fashion fine things for the Sultan to behold, chalices, necklaces, rings of beaten gold. But the finest work among them all, it was a wedding band, a golden heart held tenderly between two loving hands. Heart in hand, heart in loving hand, a golden heart held tenderly between two loving hands. Well, finally the news came that I was to be freed. The king demanded our release and the Sultan he agreed. My master begged me for to stay, even offered his daughter's hand, but I bid Algiers adieu with safe passage to Ireland. And now I'm back in Claddagh, where I was born and bred, with a wife and 3 daughters, a house and farmstead. Still I make rings and fine things for the great and grand, but my favourite is the Claddagh ring with its heart in loving hand. Heart in hand, heart in loving hand, my favourite is the Claddagh ring with its heart in loving hand. Heart in hand, heart in loving hand, my favourite is the Claddagh ring with its heart in loving hand. Thank you. I realised I was 7 verses in and I hadn't even mentioned the ring. This is an old song. This is one of our older songs in the tradition in a way. You all know it as the Wild Rover, and this is the Drogheda version of it, or the older version of it, if you can call it that. Originally it was in Gaelic, and it's been translated a few different times, you know, and. Everyone uses it as a drinking song, but it's really an anti-drinking song. You know, if you listen to the last verse, had I all the money that I left in your care, it would buy me the food for a family fair. It would thatch my new cottage, it would buy me a barn, and it would buy me a great coat to keep my back warm, and this wild roving give over. You know, it's a beautiful song. It comes from the late 1500s, and I got this version from a man called Sean Corcoran, who's passed on now, and he got it from the Usher family, which is the Ushers were an old family, like that go back of singers, you know. I've been a wild rover this many's the year, and I spent all my money on whiskey and strong liquor. But now for the future I must take better care, in the hopes that good fortune might come to my care. Wild roving give over, wild roving give o'er, and I never be called the wild rover no more. I went into an alehouse that I used to frequent, and I told the landlady all my money was spent. When she saw I had no money, well, she answered me nay. Such a custom of yours I can have any day. Wild roving give over, wild roving give o'er, and I never be called the wild rover no more. I put my hands in my pocket, some money to find, and I pulled out the full of my 2 hands 5 times. Oh, when she saw I had money, and money galore. Oh, when she saw I had money, well, she called me her store, saying I have beer and whiskey and the wines of the best, and the words that I told you, they're only in jest. Wild roving give over, wild roving give o'er, and I never be called the wild rover no more. Had I all the money that I left in your care, it would buy me a food for the family and it would thatch my new cottage, and it would buy me a barn, and it would buy me a great coat to keep my back warm. Wild roving give over, wild roving give over, and I never be called the wild rover no more. Wild roving give over, wild roving give o'er, and I never be called the wild rover no more. Okay, I'll do one more and we'll have pause for the cause. And this one, I have a few CDs sit for sale. I've only a few left. I kind of misjudged, but there's a few there if you're interested. And I can do credit cards if you need to, but cash is king. So this is a song called Willie Taylor. Willie Taylor is a brisk young sailor, heads off to sea, leaves his loved one behind. But of course she doesn't want to be left behind, so she dresses like a man and heads off after him. But after many adventures at sea, she eventually finds him, but in the arms of another woman. I know. So she does the only natural thing in these songs and shoots them both to the head. Thank you very much. And, but it's a lovely little chorus. Lovely little happy chorus. Dally dilly dum diddly dum 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 dally dilly dum diddly dum day. Dally dilly dum diddly dum 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 dally dilly dum diddly dum day. That's it. Go for it. Willie Taylor and his youthful lover, full of mirth and loyalty. They were going to the church to be married. He was pressed and sang on sea. She dressed herself up like a sailor. On her breast she wore a star. Her lovely fingers long and slender, she gave them all a smear of tar. On the ship there being a skirmish, she'd been one amongst the rest. A silver button flew off her jacket, there appeared her snow-white breast. Dally-dilly-dum, dilly-dum, dum, 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 dally-dilly-dum, dilly-dum, dum, the captain to this fair maid, what misfortune has took you here? Oh, I'm in search of my true lover, whom you pressed on the other year. If you're in search of your true lover, pray come tell to me his name. Oh, William Taylor, they do call him, but Fitzgerald is his name. If you get off tomorrow morning, early as the break of day, well, there you spy your Willie Taylor walking along with his lady gay. Got up the very next morning, early as the break of day, and there she spied a Willie Taylor walking his lady gay. She drew out a brace of pistols that she had at her command, and there she shot her William Taylor and his bride at his right hand. Just a happy part. And when the captain came to hear it, of the deed that she had done, well, he made her a ship's commander over a westerly island.
Our license plate we got with they can't hear it anymore.
Like everything about the other. So that's really
Just make sure
I believe that it was
How are y'all doing now?
good.
Okay.
My name is James O'Donnell. In iron and chains I'm bound. In exile from my native land, as a traitor to the crown. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Botany Bay. I was born unto the Dublin streets, a native wild and free. When I was young, I sported wrong by the coup and liberties. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Botany Bay. All were poor, we did endure the worst of old John Doyle. The deprivations of our lot, well we swore we'd pay in full. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Botany Bay. So I joined the brave militiamen. We assembled in a band, and we marched on the fight to win for the free our native land. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Botany Bay. We fought hard and we fought long, outnumbered 10 to 1. We were hunted through the lanes and streets, killed with pikes and guns. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Botany Bay. Well, some were hung on that gibbet spun, and woeful was their fate. I was taken to Kilmainham jail, my sentence to await. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Putney Bay. Well, the jury found me guilty, I stood my crime to pay. Well, the judge he called out from the dock, we're bound for Putney Bay. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Putney Bay. I saw my aged father trembling at the bar. Likewise I saw my mother tearing her white hair. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Putney Bay. So they put me on a vessel moored at Customs House Quay. Those sailors stood around and jeered, no more this land you'll see. Oh son, your days are done, you're bound for Putney Bay. And I watched old Aaron fade from view, and tears did flood my eyes. That verdant land I'll see no more until the day I die. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Putney Bay. My name is James O'Donnell, in iron and chains I'm bound, in exile from my native land, as a traitor to the crown. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Putney Bay. Oh son, where are you gone? You're bound for Putney Bay. In 1913, the boss was rich and the poor were slaves. The women working and children starving, and on came a larkin like a mighty wave. The workers cringed when the boss man thundered. 70 hours was their weekly chore. When asked for little, then less was granted. Less given little, then they'd ask for more. In the month of August, the boss man told us no union man for him could work. We stood by Larkin, who told the boss man we'd fight or die, but we wouldn't sure. 8 months we fought and 8 months we starved. We fought with Larkin through thick and thin, but foodless homes and the crying of children, it broke our hearts. We just couldn't win. Then Larkin left us, we seemed defeated. The night was black for the working man. Then up spoke Connolly with new hope and counsel. His motto was, we will rise again. In Dublin City in 1916, the English soldiers, they burnt our town, and they held our buildings and shot our leaders. The harp was buried neath that bloody crown. They shot MacDermott and Pearson Plunkett. They shot MacDonough and Clark the Brave. From bleak Kilmainham they took Cant's body to Arbor Hill and the Courtline grave. But last of all the 7 heroes, I sing the praises of James Connolly. He fought for freedom, he fought for justice, and and he gave his life so men might be free. I'm already regretting it. I am a true-born Irishman in exile from my land. I've traveled through Colombia and the states of this great land. I've worked all on the railroads, on the frontier built new towns, but still I long for my darling girl and her long hair flowing down. I hung my hat in California, a long, long way from home, through hardships and through dangers, all on the road I've roamed. But here I am, a 49er, still digging in the ground, but no gold I find will ever compare with her long hair flowing down. I've panned the great American river, Tacoma and Wairika's hill. I've worked all through the blazing summer and winter's wicked chill. But at night when I lie sleeping and the stars shine all around, I dream of passionate kisses and sweet embraces and her long hair flowing down. And I wish we were in some green valley where the wild birds and those thrushes sing, where the dew falls on the meadow in the blooming youth of spring. Well, I'd pluck for you some bonny red roses and weave some rushes round, and place them in your lily white finger, by your long hair flowing down. And how I long for the day where this gloom turns to the light, where I find that bright gleam of gold, all in the water bright, out of town. And then I'll return to my darling girl and her long hair flowing down. I'll return to my darling girl and her long hair flowing down. I got through that one. I haven't done that for about 8 years or more. That was a song I wrote. I was in Sutter's Creek there like a good few years back, and I just there was a lot of Irish people that worked in that area, you know, like during the gold rush, you know. So I just kind of wrote that song based on that. And then before that, it was a great song called Jim Larkin or the 1913 Lockout, and that's a classic, great song. Dublin had the poorest working conditions in Europe during that time in 1913, all through the early 1900s, late 1800s. There was a report there I remember reading saying that in a row of something like 11 to 13 houses, Georgian houses, which are like 4 floors, there was like 12 houses and there was like 193 people living in it. Oh. There was, you know, like it was incredibly poor, and so there was a union lockout, and the owners were not budging at all, you know. But they were working like 15 hours a day. There was no, like, if you got hurt, there was no compensation. The usual stuff, you know. When there's no, you know, it was the starts of the unions. So when there's no unions, when there's no collective, we get, you know, we get wrecked. The individuals get fucked. Excuse the language. So this is a song about, well, it's kind of a little bit, my uncle from County Donegal. He's a great character. When I was 15 or 16, I was kind of thrown out of school. There's no polite way of saying that. And I was sent to Donegal, and my uncle and aunt would sort me out. And it actually, the opposite proved true. And my uncle was a great accordion player. He loved music more than anyone I ever knew at the time. And so when I got there as a guitar player who was, you know, into everything, you know, and we used to go out all the time, and he used to bring me to all these players and sessions and everything, and it was great crack, you know. It was really fun. And but he was a Curragh man. He worked on the Curraghs, you know. Yeah. He was a policeman, and he was a sheep farmer too, you know. So he was one of those people. He was as strong as a bull. He was huge, and I suppose there's a little story that'll tell you what he was like. he had 2 daughters and 1 son, and the oldest daughter brought home her first boyfriend, and the guy was quivering when he went up to the house to bring her out, and Donald just looks at me and goes, "Come inside and help me with the sheep." And he brought him in, and the poor fella, and he says, "Hold, can you hold that sheep for me here?" Like, so he said, "I need you to hold the young wether," and he proceeded to hold the wether while Donald cut off the balls of the year-old wether, all the while looking at the boy. So that was what he was like. But he also did it really tongue-in-cheek too, because he told me about it later on. I said I gave him a good fright. You know. But I was out on the Curraghs with him, and it's a beautiful place. It's an amazing place in Carrick in County Donegal. Anyone ever been there? The highest marine cliff in Europe. It's just an amazing height, and we used to fish on the sea, looking up at it. You know, we used to fish there. It was absolutely an astounding thing. I'll never forget it. Sliabh League, exactly. Sliabh League, which is that album, League. Yeah. And I asked him one time when I was out in the sea, what was the scariest time that you had on sea? And he says, well, I was with my father, Danny Ward, and we were fishing like we are now, only a bit further out. And he says a storm blew in, but instead of coming from the sea, from the west, it came in from the east. And so try as they might, they could not get back on shore. They could not, every time they would pull in, they'd go further out. They spent a full 24 hours pulling in this storm, if you can imagine that. And so he said that was the scariest time. So I wrote this song based on it. So the chorus is in Gaelic. If you want to make a fist of it, you can. So, Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi is the first part. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi. Be an Ariga ag Iri Galua. So Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga ag Iri Galua. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga ag Iri Galua. The storm is coming quickly. The sea will be rising soon. There's a lot of them, so go for it if you can. And if you can't do it, just go home or like pretend you're doing it. Straining men, Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. Set out from Teeling Harbour, curl up to the wind. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. Sun in the evening warn us to stay at home. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. We're going to see a rolling and the wind it howls and foams. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. Well, it's time to bring the nets in, heave and haul the line. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. Quickly on your life, boys, we'll be sinking in the brine. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. The gulls, they're all crying, heading for the shore. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. And the wind is rising quickly, bear down on your oar. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. White horses cap the waves, Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. Above the stout sea churning, below a watery grave, Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Galua. The lights of home they glisten, as distant stars they shine. Tá Sturramig Choc Gatopi Be an Ariga Iri Carroll or some sign. Conster and make chocolate Poppy Bay on Erriga Carrigalua. Conster and make chocolate Poppy Bay on Erriga Carrigalua. Conster and make chocolate Poppy Bay on Erriga Carrigalua. Conster and make chocolate Poppy Bay on Erriga Carrigalua. Conster and make chocolate Poppy Bay on Erriga Carrigalua. Requests at all?
Talk about your guitars.
What?
Talk about your guitars.
Talk about the guitars. This is a guitar. That's a guitar over there. This is well, the two of them are made by a man called Kevin Meaderman from North Dakota, who happens to be a reconstructive surgeon as well. And he's retired now, but he makes these amazing instruments. You know, I've had this about maybe 15 or 16 years, and that about 13 or 14. And this one is a bouzouki, really, but with a guitar body, so we kind of lovingly call it a bazaar. And as you can see, it's well weathered, you know. And but he's made replicas of this one, but it's never been quite the same sounding as this, because it's always on the verge of destroying itself, but it sounds good, so good that way, you know. Anyway, so that's that.
And you have a musical request about your regular playing stuff, but the set with Timmy Clifford's, I always keep listening to that and playing it, and I love it.
Yeah, I can't really do that. I can't be a full band, you know. All right. Let's see. Jesus, now there's going back.
With your crooked jack.
Crooked Jack, okay. Yeah.
The Arabic?
Which? The Arabic, okay.
The wind that shakes the barley?
The wind that shakes, I can do that. Oh no, I don't know. I don't know. I won't remember that. It's been at least 30 years since I sang that one. Yeah.
Just watch for the horse.
Okay, I'll try and do Captain Glenn. This could be a complete disaster, but we'll try it. I don't even know what key I was in. This is a ghost story. A sea song ghost story. There's a lot of them. They're very superstitious, you know. I got this from Nick Jones. It's of a ship and a ship of fame, launched off the stocks bound to sail the main, with 150 brisk young men, well picked and chosen everyone. And William Glenn was the captain's name. He was a fine and a tall young man, as fine a sailor as sailed the sea, and we were sailing to New Barbary. On the 1st of April, then we set sail, blessed with a fine and a prosperous gale, and we were bound for New Barbary, with all of our whole ship's company. We hadn't been sailing a league or two, when all of our whole ship's jovial crew, they all fell sick but 63, as we went sailing to New Barbary. One night the captain then he did dream, a voice came to him and says to him, beware yourself and your whole company, tomorrow night you must lie with me. This woke the captain and terrible fright, it being the third watch of the night. And I laughed for the boatswain, and he did call, and told to him his secret all. Boatswain, he said, it grieves my heart to think I've played a villain's part. I slew a man that I held dear, and all for the love of his lady fair. And it's of the ghost that I am afraid, that has in me such terror bred. So keep the secret within your breast, and pray to God that he'll give you rest. Sailing a league or three, when raging grew the roaring sea, and arose a tempest up in the sky, which took our seamen by surprise. And the mainmast sprung by the break of day, which made our rigging all fall to away. The gallant they cowered in fright, in terror of that fatal night. The captain, he did declare, then the boatswain, he did declare, that the captain was a murderer. This so enraged the whole ship's crew, that overboard our captain threw. Our careful captain, then he being gone, immediately there came a calm, and the winds abated, and so did the sea, as we went sailing to New Barbary. And when they reached the Spanish shore, their good little ship for to repair, the people there were amazed to see their dismal case and such misery. So seamen all, wherever you may be, I'll have you take a warning by me. As you love your life, won't you have a care, and never go sailing with a murderer. We'll do another old child ballad. That's a child ballad. This is another old child. I just thought about it. That's another great song. It's basically a woman and a man meet on the road, and the woman says to the man, "Will you come home with me tonight?" Which is kind of unusual in these songs. And then the man says no, which is really unusual. So she doesn't like that, so she stabs him to the heart with a penknife. And then, not content with that, she gets her maids in waiting. We now know she's a lady. Gets her maids in waiting to throw him down a deep well, and scolds him from the top of it, saying, "You shouldn't have said that to me." So then the second part of the story is a pretty little bird comes down and alights by her and starts talking to her and says, "I saw everything that you did, and you're not very nice," kind of like that. And usually when kind of birds and parrots and things come into these old stories, there's a specific meaning to them. Like if it's a parrot, it means infidelity. If it's in a cage, it means it's like, you know, it's a secret. You know, all of these little things to mean something. And there's a lot of them that we don't really realise what they are yet, you know, that there's no, kind of, we don't know. So, anyway, she tries and kills the bird as well. So there you go. Go figure what the moral of this story is. True love, she said, beg and stay all night. You will have pleasure all in my room by a coal and a candlelight light. Coal and a candlelight. I won't abide your false lady and beg and stay all night. I've got a far better love to enjoy when I go home than you. I go home than you. She stooped over his saddle bow to kiss her lips so sweet. With a penknife all in her hand, she wounded him full deep, deep, wounded him full deep. Why woundest me, a false lady? Why woundest me so sore? It's not a doctor in all Scotland can heal my mortal wound, heal my mortal wound. Break of day, there's a dead man in my bedchamber. I wish he was away, I wish he was away. So they took him by the lily white hands, the others by the feet, and they threw him in a very deep well, full 50 fathoms deep, deep, 50 fathoms deep. Lie there, you false young man, lie there, you lie alone. And let that woman that you love best think you're longer coming home, longer coming home. And then up spoke a pretty little bird sitting in a tree. An ill death may you die, lady. He had no love but thee, had no love but thee. Come down, my pretty little bird, and sit upon my knee. I've got a golden cage at home, I'm sure to give to thee, I'm sure to give to thee. Oh, I won't come down, you false lady, and sit upon your knee. For you have slain your own true love, I'm sure you would slay me, I'm sure you would slay me. Oh, I wish I had my bow to bend, my arrow and my string. I'd shoot you to the very heart among the leaves so green, among the leaves so green. Well, if you had your bow to bend, your arrow and your string, I'd take my wings, away I'd fly, you'd never see me again, never see me again. I'd take my wings, away I'd fly, you'd never see me again. Songs at the moment. It's called The Blackbird and the Thrush. I was told by a birder last night I sang it. He says, well, a blackbird is a thrush too. I was like, it's a fucking song. Like, it's a song. Okay. It's the thrush and the thrush then. Okay. Blackbird and the thrush are sitting on the branches and they're basically talking about love. That's what it is. One evening as I walked down by yonder green bush, I heard two birds whistling, the blackbird and the thrush. I asked them the reason why they were so merry, and the answer they gave me, they were single and free. I gave my love a red rose so fine. She sent back an answer mixed with rue and time. You keep your red rose, I'll keep my time. And you drink to your love, I'll drink to mine. Sent my love a letter to see if she'd mourn. She sent back an answer she could do her own turn. I can work when I'm idle, on occasion I see. I can rest when I'm tired, he is no match for me. Oh, meeting is a pleasure, parting is a grief, and a false-hearted lover is worse than a thief. A thief can but rob you, steal all you have, but an inconstant lover sends you to your grave. One evening as I walked down by yonder green bush, I heard two birds whistling, the blackbird and the thrush. I asked them the reason why they were so merry, and the answer they gave me, they were single and free. Across the line by a name I know, and it's not my own. the bag, and by a name I know, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. Before their time, their faces drawn and grey. But I never thought so soon would mine be lined in that same way. I was tall and true, all on 6'2", but they broke me across the back, and by a name I know, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. Honest toil is good for the spirit and the soul. But believe me, boys, it's for sweat and blood that they want you down a hole. I was tall and true, all of 6'2", but they broke me across the back, and by a name I know, and it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. I was tall and true, all of 6'2", but they broke me across the back, and by a name I know, it's not my own. They call me Crooked Jack. They call me Crooked Jack. They call me Crooked Jack. Okay, so do a couple more. Are you good?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll do this about my. It was a request to do this about my great grandfather. He's a Martin Lohan, and he was from County Roscommon. He decided to emigrate to America in 1915, August of 1915, and he walked all the way from Queenstown, from Roscommon near Four Roads, right down to Queenstown, which is now Cove, and took the SS Arabic. And they were about 80 kilometres offshore when U-24, a German U-boat was on manoeuvres, decided to attack and plug 2 torpedoes in her, and she went down. And my great-grandfather was one of the survivors. He jumped into the sea as the blast happened, and as he was swimming there, a life raft crammed with people came by him, and he swam to it, but they started beating him with oars to get him away from it, afraid that he would topple it over, afraid for their own lives. But luckily for him, a woman outstretched her hand and saved his life, hoisting him up onto the life raft. And he did not marry her. Just so you know. So he got back on shore and he went into an infirmary for about 3 months. He had a kind of a scar all down his face. He wore it all his life. And when he got out of the infirmary, he walked all the way back to Roscommon and found, much to his surprise, that no news had ever reached his family that he had survived. And so they had buried him. They had had the wake and the whole works, you know. So hopefully they were happy to see him. So that's the story. So this is the song. Soil, through hardship and toil, Roscommon's rough lands they own me. Digging potatoes and ploughing the earth, as my family did long before me. But I swore I would fall, plant my own seed, and rise from my knees and stand proudly. America, I swore, or some foreign shore, would grant me the life I dreamt of surely. So I saved up the money, my passage to pay. Braved the road early one morning. I bid adieu to my family among grief and tears, as I feared that there was no returning. On the White Star Line I'd soon sail away, although the Great War was still raging. We marched a long way, the Queenstown made way, and the Arabic it loomed far above me. Who knows what fate brings, what life is in store? We peer through a looking glass dimly, as I stepped on board and steerage went toward, well, below decks a dread chill spread o'er me. At last we weighed anchor and ploughed o'er the main, the last hint of land dimming slowly. We zigzagged our course for fear of the worst, but the worst plied its course far below me. The scourge of the sea spied us and soon they made ready. Torpedoes were loosed and our ship was reduced to a watery ground, sinking steadily. The lifeboats were cast, the men embarked last, but there was too few for so many. Oh, I jumped in the sea as a blast wounded me, and the blood ran thick and freely. Well, in fear and confusion, crashing around, dreading the abyss fast approaching, was spying a life raft I clung by its side, but they beat me with oars for encroaching. Still a lady on board took pity on me as I took my last breath and was sinking, grabbing my arm to keep me from harm. Well, she held me and saved me from drowning. We got back on shore, safe and secure, and they led us all to the infirmary. 3 months I spent there, wondering why I was spared. Among all, why was I given mercy? Some live and some die, there's no reasons why. Those spinners weave their webs in mystery. But I'm back on my land, and fate lends a hand, and the roots of Roscommon weave around me. It's been a delight to play for you all. It's a wonderful place to play. Thanks very much. Give Abby and Harold a big old hand there for putting this on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my goodness.
No, thank you. No, thank you. That's right.
Well, anyway, it's been such a pleasure. I thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. I mean, seriously, don't you feel like you've traveled through time? And John, you know, you perform with like your performance on your instrument plus the storytelling. Everything has been so fantastic. So,
thank you.
Thank you, and thanks everyone for coming tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. This one is about it's a small snippet of the Irish involvement in the Civil War, and in Fredericksburg in particular. And there was a place in Fredericksburg called Mary's Heights, which was a steep incline. I was there when I wrote this, so it was about 15 years ago now. So, but there's a steep incline, and on the top of the incline were Macmillan's rebels, and they were about 80% naturalised Irish. And on the bottom of it were the Irish Brigade, led by Francis Marr, and they were also 80% naturalised Irish. And long and short of it is that the Irish Brigade went up, and about 3,000 of them, and in about 15 minutes 300 of them came down. And it was a terrible slaughter at the time. And so much so that the Irish Brigade was finally disbanded, and all the survivors went into different brigades and different things. General Marr got delusioned by the whole war in the end. He ended up becoming the governor of Montana, and he was eventually killed by ranchers over a dispute. Well, he fell off a barge, a river barge at the end, you know. But if you ever want to read about Francis Marr, there's a great book called The Immortal Irishman. That's a fantastic book. He's a great story. Yes. Excellent book. So anyway, this is called Cleared Away. Cleared Away is Fágabhalla, which was the war rallying cry of the Irish Brigade. Fágabhalla. In the cold grey light of morning, after the deal had gone down, I awoke and I shook all over, hoping a dram would bring me round. Well, I stared at the sights all around me, dusted blue and faded and grey. Men in heaps were scattered, men who fought and died the other day. Well, I lived my youth in Connemara, roving from town to town. I shipped on board of the Amelia, New York City I was bound. Not for honor, nor for country, well, we kill for 3 square meals a day. Off the boat and pack on shoulder, one in hand, we're here to stay. At Fredericksburg we rose to meet them, and we knew the price we paid. But the Irish Brigade will not surrender. Fágabhalla cleared away. General Marr, he gave the order, up Mary's Heights, charge away. The hills were rife with blood and murder as we gouged and tore our way. Macmillan's rebels, they fired upon us, shot and shell, book and ball. Their green flag rose high above them as ours fell on the battle wall. At Fredericksburg we rose to meet them, though we knew the price we paid. But the Irish Brigade will not surrender. Fágabhalla cleared away. Face there, a young rebel, he charged me in the fray. I turned around and my blade went through him. I did the devil's work that day, for I saw my face there before me in that boy that I threw down. He could have been a friend or brother, another exile from my town. 3,000 strong rose to fight them in Antietam's ripening corn. But Fredericksburg was our undoing, 300 left to weep and mourn. At Fredericksburg we rose to meet them, and we knew the price we paid. But the Irish Brigade will not surrender. Fágabhalla cleared away. At Fredericksburg we rose Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.